All right, shalom, everyone. Hope you all having a wonderful day so far. So, I am going to another reading from the book of Jasher, a continuation from the last video I have created. Of course, the last video I went over was uh, Joseph's first encounter with his family in years. So now we are going to do the next part of the book of Jasher. This time it's going to be Jasher chapter 56 to 62. So that will be the reading for this video. And this is about the conflict between Esau and his sons versus Jacob's sons and the other nations. So throughout chapters 56 to 62, at first it's going to be, the first half of it approximately is about Esau and his sons against Jacob's sons, and then of course it's going to talk about Esau war and his sons warring with the other nations. I hope you all enjoy this reading, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments section. So chapter 56 in the book of Jasher. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years, and the days of Jacob and the years of his life were 147 years. At the time Jacob was struck with the illness of which he died, and he sent and called for his son Joseph from Egypt, and Joseph his son came from Egypt, and Joseph came to his father. And Jacob said to Joseph and his sons, See, I am dying, and Yahuwah of your ancestors will visit you and bring you back to the land which Yahuwah swore to give you and to your children after you. Now therefore, when I am dead, bury me in the cave which is in Machpelah in Hebron in the land of Canaan near my ancestors. And Jacob made his sons swear to bury him in Machpelah in Hebron, and his sons swore to him concerning this matter. And he commanded them, saying, Serve Yahuwah, for he is he who delivered your fathers, he will also deliver you from all trouble. And Jacob said, Call all your children to me. And all the children of Jacob's sons came and sat before him. And Jacob favored them, and he said to them, Yahuwah of your fathers shall grant you 1,000 times as much and favor you, and may he give you the blessings of your father Abraham. And all the children of Jacob's sons went out on that day, and after he had blessed them. And on the next day Jacob again called for his sons, and they all assembled and came to him and sat before him. And on that day Jacob blessed his sons before his death, and each man he blessed according to his blessing. See, it is written in the book of the law of Yahuwah pertaining to Yasharal, or Israel. And Jacob said to Judah, I know, my son, that you are a mighty man from your brothers. Reign over them, and your sons shall reign over their sons forever. Only teach your sons to bow and all the weapons of battle, in order that they might fight the battles of their brother, who will rule over his enemies. And Jacob again commanded his sons on that day, See, this day shall I be gathered to my people. Carry me up from Egypt, and bury me in the cave of Machpelah, as I have commanded you. However, please take heed that none of your sons carry me, only yourselves. This is the matter you shall do to me when you carry my body to go with it to the land of Canaan to bury me. And Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun shall carry my coffin at the eastern side, and Reuben and Simon and Gad to the south, Ephraim, Manasseh, and Benjamin at the west, and Dan, Asher, and Naphtali to the north. Let not Levi carry with you, for he and his sons will carry the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah with the Yashraelites in the camp. Neither let Joseph my son carry, for as a sovereign, so let his esteem be. However, Ephraim and Manasseh should be in your place. And thus shall you do to me when you carry me away. Do not neglect any matter of all that I have commanded you. And it shall come to pass that when you do this to me, that Yahuwah will remember you favorably, and your children after you forever. And you, my sons, honor each his brother and his relative, and command your children and your children's children after you, and to serve Yahuwah your ancestors all the days, in order that you may prolong your days in the land, you and your children's children forever. And when you do what is good and right in the sight of Yahuwah, to go in all his ways. And you, Joseph, my son, please forgive the wrongs of your brothers and all their misdeeds and the injury that they heaped upon you. For Yahuwah intended for you for your children's benefit. And O my son, do not leave your brothers to the inhabitants of Egypt, neither hurt their feelings, for see, I commit them into the hand of Yahuwah, and in your hand to guard them from the Egyptians. And the sons of Jacob answered their father, saying, O our father, all that you have commanded us, so we will do. May Yahuwah only be with us. And Jacob said to his sons, so may Yahuwah be with you, and when you keep all his ways, do not turn from his ways either to the right or to the left, in performing what is good and right in his sight. For I know that many and grievous troubles will befall you in the latter days in the land. Even your children and your children's children will only serve Yahuwah, and he will save you from all trouble. And it shall come to pass when you shall go after Yahuwah to serve him, and will teach your children after you and your children's children to know Yahuwah, that Yahuwah will raise up for you and your children a servant from among your children, and Yahuwah will deliver you through his hand from all affliction, and bring you out of Egypt, and bring you back to the land for your fathers to inherit it safely. And Jacob ceased commanding his sons, and he drew his feet to the bed, and he died and was gathered to his people. And Joseph fell on his father, and he cried out and wept over him, and he kissed him, and he called out in a bitter voice. He said, Oh, my father, my father. And his sons' wives and all his household came and fell on Jacob, and they wept over him, and cried in a very loud voice concerning Jacob. And all the sons of Jacob rose up together. They tore their garments and put all the sackcloth on their loins, and they fell on their faces, and they drew dust on their heads towards the heavens. And the matter was told to Asenath, Joseph's wife, and she rose up and put sackcloth, and she and all the Egyptian women with her came and mourned and wept for Jacob. And also all the people of Egypt who knew Jacob all came on that day when they heard that matter, and all Egypt wept for many days. And also from the land of Canaan the women came to Egypt when they heard that Jacob was dead, and they wept for him in Egypt for 70 days. And it came to be after this that Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father with myrrh and frankincense, and the manner of incense and perfume. And the doctors embalmed Jacob as Joseph has commanded them. And all the people of Egypt and the elders of all the inhabitants of the land of Goshen wept and mourned over Jacob, and all his sons and the children of his household lamented and mourned over their father Jacob many days. And after the days of his weeping and passed at the end of the 70 days, Joseph said to Pharaoh, I will go up and bury my father in the land of Canaan, as he made me swear, and then I will return. And Pharaoh sent Joseph, saying, Go up and bury your father, as he said, as he made you swear. And Joseph rose up and all his brothers to go to the land of Canaan to bury their father Jacob, as he has commanded them. And Pharaoh commanded that it should be proclaimed throughout Egypt, saying, Whoever does not go up with Joseph and his brothers to the land of Canaan to bury Jacob shall die. And all Egypt heard of Pharaoh's call, and they all rose up together, and all the servants of Pharaoh, and the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt went up with Joseph. And all the officers and nobles of Pharaoh went up as the servants of Joseph. And they went to bury Jacob in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Jacob carried the coffin in which he lay, according to that their father commanded them, so his sons did to him. And the coffin was of pure gold, and it was inlaid around about with shoham stones and bdellium. And the covering of the coffin was gold woven work, joined with threads, and over them were hooks of shoham stones and bdellium. And Joseph placed a large golden crown upon the head of his father Jacob, and he put a golden scepter in his hand, and they surrounded the coffin, and was cut as the custom of sovereigns during their lives. And all the armies of Egypt went before him in this order: first all the mighty men of Pharaoh, then the mighty men of Joseph, and after them the rest of the inhabitants of Egypt. And they were all girded with swords and equipped with scaled armor, and the weapons of battle were on them. And all the lamenters and mourners went at a distance opposite to the coffin, going and weeping and lamenting, and the rest of the people went after the coffin. And Joseph and his household went together near the coffin, barefoot and weeping, and the rest of Joseph's servants went around him. Each man had his ornaments upon him, and they were all armed with their weapons of battle. And 50 of Jacob's servants went in front of the coffin, and they scattered myrrh and aloes along the way, and all manner of perfume. And all the sons of Jacob that carried the coffin walked on the perfumery, and the servants of Jacob went before them, scattering the perfume along the way. And Joseph went up a great company, and they did this matter after the manner every day until they reached the land of Canaan. And they came to the threshing floor of Atad, which is on the other side of Jordan, and they mourned an exceedingly great and grievous mourning in that place. And all the sovereigns of Canaan heard of this matter, and they all went out, each man from his house, 31 sovereigns of Canaan, and they all came with their men to mourn and weep over Jacob. And all these sovereigns saw Jacob's coffin, and see Joseph's crown was on it, and they put their crowns on the coffin and encircled it with crowns. And all these sovereigns made a great and grievous mourning in that place with the sons of Jacob and Egypt over Jacob. And all the sovereigns of Canaan knew the might of Jacob and his sons. And the report reached Esaw, saying, Jacob died in Egypt, and all his sons and all the Egyptians are carrying him to the land of Canaan to bury him. And Esau heard the matter, and he was dwelling in Mount Seir, and he rose up with his sons and all his people and all his household, a people exceedingly great, and they came to mourn and weep over Jacob. And it came to be when Esau came, he mourned for his brother Jacob, and all Egypt and all Canaan again rose up and mourned a great mourning with Esau over Jacob in that place. And Joseph and his brothers brought their father Jacob from that place, and they went to Hebron to bury Jacob in the cave with his fathers. And they came to Kiriath Arba, to the cave, and they came to Esau and stood with his sons against Joseph and his brothers as a hindrance in the cave, saying, Jacob shall not be buried in here, for it belongs to us and our father. And Joseph and his brothers heard the words of Esau's sons, and they were exceedingly wroth. And Joseph approached towards Esau, saying, What is this word which they have spoken? Indeed, my father Jacob bought it from you with great riches after the death of Isaac, now 25 years ago, and also all the land of Canaan he bought from you and from your sons and your seed after you. And Jacob bought it for his sons and his seed after him for an inheritance forever. And why do you speak these words today? And Esau answered and saying, You speak falsely and speak lies, for I sold no matter belonging to me in all the land, as you say, neither did my brother Jacob buy whatever belonging to me in this land. And Esau spoke these words in order to deceive Joseph with his words, and Esau knew that Joseph was not present in those days when Esau sold all belonging to him in the land of Canaan to Jacob. And Joseph said to Esau, Indeed, my father established these matters with you in the record of purchase and witness in the record with witnesses, and see, it is with us in Egypt. And Esau answered, saying to him, Bring the record, all that you will find in the record, so we will do. And Joseph called to Naphtali, his brother, and he said, Hurry quickly, do not stand still. Please run to Egypt and bring all the records, and the records of the purchase, and the sealed record, and the open record, and also bring all the first records in which all the matters of the birthright are written. And you shall bring them to us here, that we may know that from them all the words of Esau and his sons which they spoke today. And Naphtali listened to the voice of Joseph, and he hurried and ran to go down to Egypt. And Naphtali was swifter on foot than any of the stags throughout the wilderness, and he would go upon the heads of grain without crushing them. And when Esau saw that Naphtali had gone to fetch the records, he and his sons increased their resistance against the king. Esau and all his people rose up against Joseph and his brothers to battle. And all the sons of Jacob and the people of Egypt fought with Esau and his men, and the sons of Esau and his people were smitten before the sons of Jacob. And the sons of Jacob slew of Esau's people 40 men. And Hushim, the son of Dan, the son of Jacob, was at that time with Jacob's sons, but he was about 100 amah away from the place of battle, for he remained with the children of Jacob's sons by Jacob's coffin to guard it. And Hushim was dumb and deaf. Still he understood the voice of fear among men. And he asked, saying, Why do you not bury the dead, and what is this great fear? And they answered him the words of Esau and his sons. And he ran to Esau in the midst of the battle, and he slew Esau with the sword, and he cut off his head, and it sprang to the distance. And Esau fell among the people of the battle. And when Hushim did this matter, the sons of Jacob prevailed over the sons of Esau. And the sons of Jacob buried their father Jacob by force in the cave, and the sons of Esau saw it. And Jacob was buried in Hebron in the cave of Machpelah, which Abraham has bought for the sons of Heth for a possession for a burial place. And he was buried in very costly garments. And no sovereign had such honor paid him as Joseph paid to his father at his death, and he buried him with great honor like the burial of sovereigns. And Joseph and his brothers made a mourning for 7 days for their father. Chapter 57. And it came to be after this, the sons of Esau fought with the sons of Jacob, and the sons of Esau fought with the sons of Jacob in Hebron, and Esau was still lying dead and was not buried. And the battle was fierce between them, and the sons of Esau were smitten before the sons of Jacob, and the sons of Jacob slew 80 men of the sons of Esau, and not one died of the people of the sons of Jacob. And the hand of Joseph prevailed over all the people of the sons of Esau, and he took Sepho, the son of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, and 50 of his men captive, and he bound them with chains of iron, and gave them to the hands of his servants to bring them to Egypt. And it came to be when the sons of Jacob had taken Sepho and his people captive, all those that remained were greatly afraid of their lives from the house of Esau, lest they should also be taken captive. They all fled with Eliphaz, the son of Esau, and his people with Esau's body, and they went on their way to Mount Seir. And they came to Mount Seir, and they buried Esau in Seir, but they had not brought his head with them to Seir, for it was buried in that place where the battle had been in Hebron. And it came to be when the sons of Esau had fled from before the sons of Jacob pursued them at the borders of Seir, but they did not slay a single man from among them when they pursued them, for Esau's buried body which they carried with them caused them confusion. So they fled, and the sons of Jacob turned back from them, and they came up to the place where their brothers were in Hebron. And they remained there on that day, on the next day, until they rested from the battle. And it came to be on the 3rd day, they assembled all the sons of Seir the Horitite, and they assembled all the children of the east, and a multitude of people like the sand of the sea, and they went and came down to Egypt to fight against Joseph and his brothers, in order to deliver their brothers. And Joseph and all his sons of Jacob heard that the sons of Esau and the children of the east had come upon them in battle, in order to deliver their brothers. And Joseph and his brothers and the strong men of Egypt went forth and fought in the city of Ramesses. And Joseph and his brothers delivered a mighty blow among the sons of Esau and the children of the east. And they slew them about 600,000 men, and they slew among them all the mighty men of children of Seir the Horitite, and they were only a few of them left. And they also slew a great many of the children of the east, and the children of Esau, and Eliphaz the son of Esau, and the children of the east all fled before Joseph and his brothers. And Joseph and his brothers pursued them until they came to Succoth, and they further slew 30 men of them in Succoth, and the rest escaped, and they each fled to his city. And Joseph and his brothers and the mighty men of Egypt turned back from them with joy and gladness of heart, and they had smitten all their enemies. And Sobol, the son of Eliphaz, and his men were still slaves in Egypt to the sons of Jacob, and their plans increased, or their pains increased. And when the sons of Esau and the sons of Seir returned to the land, and the sons of Seir saw that they had all fallen in the hands of the sons of Jacob and the people of Egypt, because of battle of the sons of Esau. And the sons of Seir said to the sons of Esau, You have seen, and therefore you know that this army was for your sake, and not one mighty man or skilled in battle remains. Now therefore go out from our land, and go from us to the land of Canaan, to the land of the dwelling of your fathers. Why shall your children inherit the possession of our children in the latter days? And the children of Esau would not listen to the children of Seir, and the children of Seir thought to fight against them. And the children of Esau sent secretly to Agias, the sovereign of Africa, that is Dinhabas, saying, Send to us some of our men, and let them come to us, and we will fight together. And the children of Seir the Hortite, and they resolved to fight against us, to drive us away from the land. And Agias, the sovereign of Dinhabas, did so, and he was in those days friendly to the children of Esau. And Aginas sent 500 mighty foot soldiers to the children of Esau, and 800 cavalry. And the children of Seir sent to the children of the east and to the children of Midian, saying, You have seen what the children of Esau have done to us, for whose sake we were almost all destroyed in their battle with the sons of Jacob. Now therefore come to us, and help us, and we will fight them together, and we will drive them from the land, and be avenged for the cause of our brothers who died for their sakes in their battle, and with their brothers the sons of Jacob. And all the children of the east listened to the children of Seir, and they came to them about 800 men with drawn swords. And the children of Esau fought with the children of Seir at the time of the wilderness of Paran. And the children of Seir prevailed at that time over the sons of Esau. And on that day the children of Seir slew about 200 men of the people of Agias, the sovereign of Dinhabah, the children of Esau in that battle. And on the second day the children of Esau came again to fight a second time with the children of Seir, and the battle was hard on the children of Esau this second time, and it troubled them greatly for the sake of the children of Seir. And when the children of Esau saw that the children of Seir was more powerful than they were, some men of the children of Esau turned and helped the children of Seir, their enemies. And more of the people, the children of Esau, fell in the second battle, 58 men of the people of Agias, the sovereign of Dinhabah. And on the third day of the children of Esau has heard that some of their brothers had turned from them to fight against them in the second battle. The children of Esau mourned for when they heard this word. And they said, What shall we do to our brothers who turned from us to help the children of Seir, our enemies? The children of Esau again sent to Agias, the sovereign of Dinhabah, saying, Send to us again other men with them, that we may fight against the children of Seir, for they already twice been greater than we were. And Agias again sent about 600 mighty men to the children of Esau, and they came to help the children of Esau. And in 10 days' time the children of Esau again fought with the children of Seir in the wilderness of Paran, and the battle was very fierce upon the children of Seir. And the children of Esau prevailed at this time over the children of Seir, and the children of Seir were smitten before the children of Esau, and the children of Esau slew from them about 2,000 men. And all the mighty men of the children of Seir died in this battle, and there only remained their young children that were left in their cities. And all Midian and the children of the east took to flight from the battle, which they left the children of Seir to fled, and they saw that the battle was fierce upon them. And the children of Esau pursued all the children of the east until they reached their land. And the children of Esau further slew them about 250 men. And from the people of the children of Esau, from there fell in that battle about 30 men. And this evil came upon them through their brothers, turning from them to help the children of Seir the Hortite, And the children of Esau again heard of the evil doings of their brothers, and they again mourned because of this matter. And it came to be after the battle, the children of Esau turned back to came home to Seir, and the children of Esau slew those who remained in the land of the children of Seir. They also slew their wives and little ones, and they left not a being alive except 50 young men and maidens whom they allowed to live. And the children of Esau did not put them to death, but young men became their slaves, and the maidens they took for wives. And the children of Esau dwelt in Seir in the place of the children of Seir, and they inherited their land and took possession of it. And the children of Esau took all belonging to the children of Seir in the land, and also their flocks, their oxen, their goods, and all belonging to the children of Seir. The children of Esau took and the children of Esau dwelt in Seir in the place of the children of Seir to this day. And the children of Esau divided the land into divisions of the 5 sons of Esau according to their clans. And it came to be in those days that the children of Esau resolved to crown a sovereign over them in the land which they came to possess. But they said to each other, not so, for he shall reign over us in our land, and we shall be under his counsel, and he shall fight our battles against our enemies. And they did so. And all the children of Esau swore that, saying that none of their brothers should ever reign over them, but a strange man who was not of their brothers. For the beings of all the children of Esau were embittered, every man against his son, brother, and friend, because of the evil they sustained from their brothers when they fought with the children of Seir. Therefore the children of Esau swore, saying that from then onward they would not choose a sovereign from their brothers, but one from a strange land unto this day. And there was a man there from the people of Angias, the sovereign of Nineveh. His name was Bilhah, the son of Beor, who was a very mighty man, good looking and handsome and wise in all his wisdom, and a man of sense and counsel. And there was none of the people like Agias like him. And all the children of Esau took him and anointed him, and they crowned him as sovereign, and they bowed down to him, and they said, May the sovereign live, may the sovereign live. And they spread out the sheet. Every man brought him earrings of gold and silver, or rings of bracelets, and they made them very rich in silver and gold, and show him stones of bdellium. And they made him a royal throne, and they placed a royal crown upon his head, and they built a palace for him, and he dwelt in it, and became the sovereign over all the children of Esau. And the people of Agias took their payment for the battle from the children of Esau, and they went and returned at that time to their master Dinhabah. And Bilhah reigned over the children of Esau 30 years, and the children of Esau dwelt in the land instead of the children of Seir, and they dwelt safely in their place to this day. Chapter 58. And it came to be in the 32nd year of the Yashraelites going down to Egypt, that is in the 71st year of the life of Joseph. In that year, Pharaoh, the sovereign of Egypt, died, and Magron, his son, reigned in his place. And Pharaoh commanded Joseph before his death to be a father to his son Magron, and that Magron should be under the care of Joseph and under his counsel. And all of Egypt agreed to this matter, that Joseph should be the sovereign over them, for all the Egyptians loved Joseph as of before. And only Magron, the son of the Pharaoh, sat upon his father's throne, and he became the sovereign in those days in his father's place. And Magron was 41 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years in Egypt. And all Egypt called his name Pharaoh, after the name of his father, and it was their custom to do in Egypt to every sovereign that reigned over them. And it came to be when Pharaoh reigned over his father's place, he put the laws of Egypt and all the affairs of the reign in the hand of Joseph, and as his father had commanded him. And Joseph became sovereign over Egypt, and he was the overseer of all Egypt, and all Egypt was under his care and under his counsel, for all Egypt inclined to Joseph after the death of Pharaoh, and they loved him exceedingly to reign over them. But there were some people among them who did not like him, saying, No stranger shall reign over us. Still the whole reign of Egypt fell in those days upon Joseph after the death of Pharaoh, he being the official, doing as he liked throughout the land without anyone interfering. And all Egypt was under the care of Joseph, and Joseph fought against all his surrounding enemies, and he subdued them. And Joseph also subdued all the land of the Philistines to the borders of Canaan, and they were all under his power, and they gave a yearly levy to Joseph. And the Pharaoh, the sovereign of Egypt, sat on his throne in his father's place, but he was under the control and counsel of Joseph, and he was at first under the control of his father. Neither did he reign but in the land of Egypt only, under the counsel of Joseph. But Joseph reigned over the whole country at that time, from Egypt to the great river Perath. And Joseph was successful in all his ways, and Yahuwah was with him. And Yahuwah gave Joseph additional wisdom and honor and esteem and love towards him in the hearts of the Egyptians throughout the land. And Joseph reigned over the whole country 40 years. And all the countries of the Philistines and Canaan and Sidon and all the other side of the Jordan brought presents to Joseph all his days, and the whole country was in the hands of Joseph. And they brought to him a yearly tribute as it was decreed. For Joseph had fought against all his surrounding enemies and subdued him, and the whole country was in the hand of Joseph. And Joseph sat safely on his throne in Egypt. And all his brothers and the sons of Jacob dwelt safely in the land all the days of Joseph, and they were fruitful and multiplied exceedingly in the land, and they served Yahuwah all their days as their father Jacob had commanded them. And it came to be at the end of many days and years, when the children of Esau were dwelling quietly in the land of Bilhah their sovereign, the children of Esau were fruitful and multiplied in the land, and they resolved to go to fight against the sons of Jacob and all of Egypt, to deliver their brother Sipho, the son of Eliphaz, and his men, for they were still slaves in those days to Joseph. And the children of Esau sent all the children of the east, and they made peace with them. And all the children of east came to them and go with the children of Esau to Egypt to battle. And there also came to them some of the people of Angias, the sovereign of Nineveh, and they said to the children of Ishmael, and they also came to them. And all his people assembled and came to Seir to assist the children of Esau in their battle. And this camp was very large and great with people, numerous as the sand of the sea, about 800,000 men, foot soldiers, and cavalry. And all these companies went out to Egypt to fight against the sons of Jacob, and they encamped by Ramesses. And Joseph went out with his men and with the mighty men of Egypt, about 600 men, and they fought with them in the land of Ramesses. And at that time the sons of Jacob fought with the children of Esau again, in the 50th year of the sons of Jacob going down to Egypt, and in the 30th year in the reign of Bilhah over the children of Esau and Seir. And Yahuwah gave all the mighty men of Esau and the children of the east into the hand of Joseph and his brothers, and the people of the children of Esau and the children of the east were smitten before Joseph. And all the people of Esau and the children of the east that were slain, that there fell before the sons of Jacob about 200,000 men, and their sovereign Bilhah, the son of Beor, fell with them in battle. And when the children of Esau saw that their sovereign has fallen in battle and was dead, their hands became weak in battle. And Joseph and his brothers and all of Egypt were still smiting the people of the house of Esau. And all Esau's people were afraid of the sons of Jacob and fled from before them. And Joseph and his brothers and all of Egypt pursued them a day's journey, and they further slew them, about 300 men, and continuing to smite them on the way, and afterwards they turned back from them. And Joseph and all his brothers returned to Egypt. Not one man was missing from them, but of the Egyptians there fell 12 men. And when Joseph returned to Egypt, he ordered Sipho and his men to be further bound, and they bound him in irons, and they increased their grief. And all the people, the children of Esau and the children of the east, returned in shame, each to his city. All the mighty men that were with them had fallen in battle. And the children of Esau saw that their sovereign had died in battle. They hastened and took a man from the people of the children of the east. His name was Yobab the son of Zerah from the land of Botzrah, and they appointed him to reign over them instead of Bilhah their sovereign. And Yobab sat on the throne of Bilhah as sovereign in his place, and Yobab reigned over Edom, over all the children of Esau 10 years. And the children of Esau no longer went and fought against the sons of Jacob from then onward, for the sons of Esau knew the might of the sons of Jacob, and they were greatly afraid of them. But from then onward, the children of Esau hated the sons of Jacob, and their hatred and enmity then were very strong between them all the days to this day. And it came to be after this, at the end of 10 years, Yobab the son of Zerah from Botzrah died, and the children of Esau took a man whose name was Husham from the land of Taman, and they made him sovereign over them instead of Yobab. And Husham reigned over Edom, over all the children of Esau for 20 years. And Joseph, the sovereign of Egypt, and his brothers and the children of Yasharal dwelt safely in Egypt in those days, together with all the children of Joseph and his brothers, having no hindrance or evil accident. And the land of Egypt was at that time at rest from battle in the days of Joseph and his brothers. Chapter 59. And these were the names of the sons of Yasharal who dwelt in Egypt, who came with Jacob, and all the sons of Jacob that came to Egypt, and every man with his household. The children of Leah were Reuben, Simon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun, and their sister Dinah. And the sons of Rachel were Joseph and Benjamin. And the sons of Zilpah were the female servant of Leah were Gad and Asher. And the sons of Bilhah, the female servant of Rachel, were Dan and Naphtali. And these were their offspring that were born to them in the land of Canaan before they came to Egypt with their father Jacob. And the sons of Reuben were Enoch, Palu, Hetzron, and Carmi. And the sons of Simon were Yomulil, Yamin, Ohad, Yakin, Sohar, and Shaul, and the son of the Canaanite woman. And the children of Levi were Gershon, Kehath, and Merari, and their sister Jochebed, who was born to them in their going down to Egypt. And the sons of Judah were Onan, Selah, Perez, and Zerah. And and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Perez were Hetzron and Hamuel. And the sons of Issachar were Sola, Poa, Eob, and Sumerin. And the sons of Zebulun were Sered, Elon, and Yaileel. And the sons of Dan was Hushim. And the sons of Naphtali were Yatziel, Guni, Yetzir, and Shillim. And the sons of Gad were Sephron, Hagi, Shuni, Etzbon, Eri, Arodi, and Areli. And the sons of Asher were Yemnah, Yeshua, Yeshwi, Beriah, and their sister Sarah. And the sons of Beriah were Heber and Malachiel. And the sons of Benjamin were Bilhah, Becher, Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Ahi, Rosh, Mopin, Hopin, and Ard. And the sons of Joseph that were born to him in Egypt were Manasseh and Ephraim. And all the beings that went out of the loins of Jacob were 70 beings, and those who came to Jacob with their father to Egypt to dwell there. And Joseph and all their brothers dwelt safely in Egypt, and they ate the best of Egypt in all the days of the lives of Joseph. And Joseph lived in the land of Egypt 93 years, and Joseph reigned over all Egypt 80 years. And when the days of Joseph drew near that he should die, he sent and called for his brothers and all his father's household, and they all came together and sat before him. And Joseph said to his brothers and the whole of his father's household, See, I die, and Yahuwah will indeed visit you and bring you up from this land in the land which he swore to your fathers together. And I shall be, when Yahuwah shall visit you and bring you up from there to the land of your fathers, then bring up my bones with you from here. And Joseph made the sons of Yasharal swear of their seed after them, saying, Yahuwah will indeed visit you, and you shall bring up my bones with you from here. And it shall came to be after this that Joseph died in that year, in the 71st year of the Yasharites going down to Egypt. And Joseph was 110 years old when he died in the land of Egypt, and all his brothers and all his servants rose up, and they embalmed Joseph, as was their custom, and his brothers and all Egypt mourned over him for 70 days. And they put Joseph in a coffin filled with spices and all kinds of perfume, and they buried him by the side of the river, that is Sihor. And his sons and all his brothers and the whole of his father's household made a 7 days mourning for him. And it came to be after the death of Joseph in those days, all the Egyptians began to rule over the children of Yasharal, and Pharaoh, the sovereign of Egypt, who reigned in his father's place, took all the laws of Egypt and brought the whole reign of Egypt under his counsel, and he reigned safely over his people. Chapter 60. And at the turn of the year, being the 72nd year from the Yasharites going down to Egypt after the death of Joseph, Sepho, the son of Eliphaz, the son of Esaw, fled from Egypt, and he and his men, and they went away. And he came to Africa, which is Danhabah, to Agnes, the sovereign of Africa, and Agnes received them with great honor, and he made Sepho the commander of his army. And Sepho found favor in the sight of Agias, in the sight of his people, and Sepho was the captain of the army to Agias, the sovereign of Africa, for many days. And Sepho enticed Agias, the sovereign of Africa, to gather all his army to go and fight against the Egyptians, and with the sons of Jacob to avenge them for the cause of his brothers. But Agias would not listen to Sepho to do this matter, for Agias knew the strength of the sons of Jacob, for they had done to his army in their battle with the children of Esau. And Sepho was in those days very great in the sight of Agias and in the sight of all his people. He continually enticed him to fight against Egypt, but they would not. And it came to be in those days, there was in the hand of the Hittites a man in the city of Puzima, whose name was Uzu, who came to be abominably worshipped by the children of the Hittites. And the man died and had no son, only one daughter, whose name was Yania. And the maiden was exceedingly good looking and fair in form and intelligent, and there is none seen like her with for good looks and wisdom throughout the land. And the people of Agias, the sovereign of Africa, saw her, and they came and praised her to him. And Agias sent to the children of the Hittites and requested to take her for himself as a wife, and the people of the Hittites consented to give her to him for a wife. And the messengers of Agias who went out from the land of the Hittites took their journey, and see, the messengers of Turnus, the sovereign of Benbantu, came to the Hittites. For Turnus, the sovereign of Benbantu, also sent his messengers to request Yania for him, to take for himself for a wife, and all his men had also praised her to him. Therefore he sent all his servants to her. And the servants of Turnus came to the Hittites, and they asked for Yania to be taken to Turnus their sovereign for a wife. And the people, the Hittites, said to them, we cannot give her, because Agias, the sovereign of Africa, desired to take her to him for a wife before you came, and we should give her to him. And now therefore we cannot do this matter to deprive Agias of the maiden in order to give her to Turnus. For we are greatly afraid of Agias, lest he come in battle against us and destroy us, and Turnus your master will not be able to deliver us from his hand. And the messengers of Turnus heard all the words of the children of the Hittites, and they turned back to their master and told them all the words of the children of the Hittites. And the children of the Hittites sent a record to Agias, saying, behold, Turnus has sent Yania to take her to him for a wife. Thus have we answered him. For we heard that he gathered his whole army to go to battle against you, for he intends to pass by the way of Sardinia to fight against your brother Lucas, and after that he will come to fight against you. And Aggeus heard the words of the children of the Hittites, and they sent to him in the record, and his wrath was kindled, and he rose up and assembled his whole army, and came through the islands of the sea, and the way of Sardunia, and his brother Lucas, sovereign of Sardunia. And Niblos, the son of Lucas, heard that his uncle Aggeus was coming, and he went out to meet him with a great army, and he kissed him and embraced him. And Niblos said to Aggeus, when you ask my father after his welfare, and when I shall go with you to fight against Turnus, ask of him to make me commander of his army. And Aggeus did so, and he came to his brother, and his brother came to meet him, and he asked him after his welfare. And Aggeus asked his brother Lucas after his welfare, and make his son Niblos commander of his army, and Lucas did so. And Aggeus and his brother Lucas rose up, and they went towards Turnus to battle, and there was with him a great army and a mighty people. And he came in ships, and he came into the province of Asteros, and see, Turnus came towards them, and he went out to Sardunia and intended to destroy it, and afterwards pass on from there to Aggeus to fight against him. And Aggeus and Lucas, his brother, met Turnus in the valley of Canopia, and the battle was strong and mighty between them in that place. And the battle was fierce upon Lucas, the sovereign of Sardunia, and all his army fell, and Niblos, his son, also fell in that battle. And the uncle Aggeus commanded his servants, and they made a golden coffin for Niblos, and they put him to it. And Aggeus again waged battle towards Turnus, but Aggeus was stronger than he, and he slew him, and he smote all his people with the edge of the sword. And Aggeus avenged the cause of Niblos, his brother's son, and the cause of the army of his brother Lucas. And Turnus died at the hands of those that survived the battle, became weak, and they fled from before Aggeus and Lucas, his brother. And Aggeus and his brother Lucas pursued them to the highway, which is between Alphanu and Roma, and they slew the whole army of Turnus with the edge of the sword. And Lucas, the sovereign of Sardunia, commanded his servants that they should make a coffin of brass, and they shall place the body of his son Niblos in it. And they buried him in that place. They built a high tower upon it there on the highway, and they called its name after the son of Niblos to this day. And they also buried Turnus, the sovereign of Bimbentu, there in that day with Niblos. And see, a highway between Alphanu and Roma, the grave of Niblos is on one side, and the grave of Turnus is on the other, and a pavement is between them to this day. And when Niblos was buried, Lucas, his father, returned to his army to his land Sardunia, and Aggeus, his brother, and the sovereign of Africa went with his people to the city of Bimbuntu, and that is the city of Turnus. And the inhabitants of Bimbuntu heard of his fame, and they were greatly afraid of him, and they went out to meet him with weeping and supplication. And the inhabitants of Bimbuntu begged Aggeus not to slay them nor destroy their city. So he did, for Bimbuntu was in those days reckoned as one of the cities of the children of the Hittites. Therefore he did not destroy the city. But from then onward, the companies of the sovereign of Africa would go to the Hittites to spoil and plunder it. And whenever they went, Sephu, the commander of the army of Aggeus, would go out with them. And it came to be after this that Aggeus turned with his army, and they came to the city of Puzima. And Aggeus took from there Yanya, the daughter of Uzu, for a wife, and brought her to his city to Africa. Chapter 61. And it came to be at this time, Pharaoh, the sovereign of Egypt, commanded all his people to make a strong palace for him in Egypt. And they also commanded the sons of Jacob to assist the Egyptians in the building. And the Egyptians made an attractive and elegant palace for a royal dwelling, and he dwelt in it, and he renewed his reign, and he reigned safely. And Zebulun, the son of Jacob, died in that year, and that is the 72nd year of his going down to of the Israelites to Egypt. And Zebulun died 114 years old, and was put into a coffin, was given to the hands of his children. And in the 75th year of his brother Simon died, and he was 120 years old at his death, and he was also put into a coffin and given into the hands of his children. And Sepho, the son of Eliphaz, the son of Esaw, the captain of the army of Aggeus, sovereign of Dinhabah, was still daily enticing Aggeus to prepare for battle to fight against the sons of Jacob in Egypt. But Aggeus was unwilling to do this matter, for his servants had related to him all the might of the sons of Jacob, and they had done to them in their battle with the children of Esau. And in those days, Sepho was daily enticing Aggeus to fight against the sons of Jacob in those days. And after some time, Aggeus listened to the words of Sepho and consented to him to fight against the sons of Jacob in Egypt. And Aggeus got all his people in order, a people numerous as the sand of the sand which is upon the seashore. And he formed his resolve to go to Egypt to battle. And amongst the servants of Aggeus was a young man, 15 years old. Bilam, the son of Boer, was his name. The young man was very wise and understood the art of witchcraft. And Aggeus sent Bilam, please divine for us with the witchcraft, and that we may know who will prevail in this battle which we are now proceeding. And Bilam ordered that they should bring him wax, and he made from it in the likeness of chariots and horsemen, representing the army of Aggeus and the army of Egypt. And he put them in a skillfully prepared waters that he had for that purpose. And he took his hand in the branches of myrtle trees, and he exercised his skill, and he cast his spells over the water. And there appeared to him in the water the resembling images of the armies of Aggeus falling before the resembling images of the Egyptians, the sons of Jacob. And Bilam told this matter to Aggeus, and Aggeus despaired and did not arm himself to go down to Egypt to battle, but remained in his city. And when Sepho, the son of Eliphaz, saw that Aggeus despaired of going down to battle with the Egyptians, Sepho fled from Aggeus from Africa, and he went and came to the Hittites. And all the people, the Hittites, received him with great honor, and they hired him to fight his battles all the days. And Sepho became exceedingly rich in those days, and the companies of the sovereigns of Africa spread themselves further in those days, and the children of the Hittites assembled and went to Mount Kopticha, because the companies of Aggeus, the sovereign of Africa, who was advancing on them. And it came to be on one day that Sepho lost a young heifer, and he went to seek it, and he heard it lowing around about in the mountain. As Sepho went and he looked and see, there was a large cave at the bottom of the mountain, and there was a great stone there at the entrance of the cave. And Sepho split the stone, and he came to the cave and looked and see, a large beast was devouring the ox. And from the middle upward it resembled a man, and from the middle downward it resembled a beast. And Sepho rose up against the beast and slew it with his swords. And the inhabitants of the Hittites heard of this matter, and they rejoiced exceedingly. And they said, what shall we do to this man who has slain this beast that devoured our cattle? And they all assembled to set apart one day in the year to him. And they called the name of it Sepho, after his name. And they brought to him drink offerings year after year on that day, and they brought gifts to him. And on the day, Yaniah, the daughter of Uzu, wife of the sovereign Aggeus, became ill, and her illness was heavily felt by Aggeus and his officers. And Aggeus said to his wise men, what shall I do to Yaniah, and how shall I heal her from her illness? And his wise men said to him, because the air of our country is not like the air in the land of the Hittites, and our water is not like their water, and therefore from this has the sovereignness became ill. And for through the change of air and water she became ill, and also because in her country she drank only the water which came from Perma, which her ancestors had brought up with bridges. And Aegeus commanded his servants, and they brought to him the vessels of water of Perma belonging to the Hittites, and they weighed those waters with all the waters of the lands of Africa, and they found these waters lighter than the waters of Africa. And the Aegeus saw this matter, and he commanded all his officers to assemble the hewers of stone in thousands and tens of thousands, and they hewed the stone without number. And the builders came, and they built an exceedingly strong bridge, and they brought the spring of water from the land of the Hittites to Africa, and those waters were for Yania the Sash and Bay, and to the water all seed of which food can be attained, and all the fruit of the ground. And the sovereign commanded that they should bring the soil of the Hittites in large ships, and they also brought stones to build. And the builders built palaces for Yania the sovereigness, and the sovereigness became healed of her illness. And at the turn of the year, the companies of Africa continued coming to the land of the Hittites to plunder as usual. And Sepho, the son of Eliphaz, heard the report, and he gave orders concerning them, and he fought with them, and they fled before him, and he delivered the land of the Hittites from them. And the children of the Hittites saw the might of Sepho. The children of the Hittites resolved, and they made Sepho sovereign over them, and he became sovereign over them. And while he reigned, they went to subdue the children of Tubal and all the surrounding islands. And their sovereign Sepho went to their head, and they fought against Tubal and the islands, and they subdued them. And when they returned from the battle, they renewed his reign for them, and they built for him very large palace for his royal dwelling and throne, and they made a large throne for him. And Sepho reigned over the whole land of the Hittites, over the land of Atalia for 50 years. Chapter 62, the last chapter. And in that year, being the 79th year of the Yasharites going down to Egypt, Reuben, the son of Jacob, died in the land of Egypt. And Reuben was 125 years old when he died. And they put him in the coffin, and he was given to the hands of his children. In the 80th year, his brother Dan died, and he was 120 years at his death. And he was also put in a coffin and was given to the hands of his children. And in that year, Husham, the sovereign of Edom, died, and after him Hadad, the son of Bedad, reigned for 35 years. And in the 81st year, Issachar, the son of Jacob, died in Egypt. And Issachar was 122 years old at his death, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt and was given to the hands of his children. And in the 82nd year, Asher, his brother, died, and he was 123 years old at his death, and he was placed in a coffin in Egypt and was given to the hands of his children. And in the 83rd year, Gad died, and he was 125 years old at his death, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt and was given to the hands of his children. And it came to be in the 84th year, that in the 50th year of the reign of Hadad, the son of Bedad, the sovereign Edom, and Hadad assembled all the children of Esaw, and he gathered his whole army in readiness for 400,000 men, and he directed his way to the land of Moab, and he went to fight against Moab to make them compulsory labor for him. And the children of Moab heard this matter, and they were very much afraid, and they sent to the children of Midian to assist them in fighting with Hadad, the son of Bedad, the sovereign of Edom. And Hadad came to the land of Moab, and Moab and the children of Midian went out to meet them, and they placed themselves in a battle array against them in the field of Moab. And Hadad fought with Moab. There fell the children of Moab, the children of Midian, and many were slain ones, about 200,000 men. And the battle was very fierce upon Moab. And when the children of Moab saw the battle was hard upon them, they weakened their hands and turned their backs and left the children of Midian to carry on the battle. And the children of Midian did not know the intentions of Moab, but they strengthened themselves in battle and fought with Hadad and all his army, and all of Midian fell before them. And Hadad smote all Midian with a great smiting, and he slew them with the edge of the sword. He left none remaining of those who came to assist Moab. And when all the children of Midian had perished in battle, the children of Moab had escaped, and Hadad made all Moab a compulsory labor for him at that time, and it came to be under his hand. And they gave a yearly levy, and it was ordered, and Hadad turned and went back to his land. At the turn of the year, when the rest of the people of Midian that were in the land heard all their brothers had fallen in battle with Hadad for the sake of Moab, because the children of Moab had turned their backs in battle and left Midian to fight. And then 5 of the princes of Midian resolved with the rest of their brothers who remained in their land and fought against Moab to avenge the cause of their brothers. And the children of Midian sent all their brothers to the children of the east, and all their brothers to the children of Keturah came and assisted Midian to fight against Moab. And the children of Moab have heard this matter, and they were greatly afraid that all the children of the east have assembled together against them in battle. And they, the children of Moab, have sent a memorial to the land of Edom to Hadad, the son of Bedad, saying, Come now to us and assist us, that we will smite Midian, for they have all assembled together and come against us with all their brothers, the children of the east, to battle, to avenge the cause of Midian that fell in the battle. And Hadad, the son of Bedad, the sovereign of Edom, went out with his whole army and went with the land of Moab to fight against Midian. And Midian and the children of the east fought with Moab in the field of Moab, and the battle was very fierce between them. And Hadad smote all the children of Midian and the children of the east with the edge of the sword. And at that time Hadad delivered Moab from the land of Midian. And from those remained in Midian of the children of the east fled before Hadad and his army. And Hadad pursued them to their land and smote them with a very great slaughter, and slain fell on the way. And Hadad delivered Moab from the hand of Midian, and all the children of Midian had fallen with the edge of the sword. And Hadad turned and went back to his land. And from then onward, the children of Midian hated the children of Moab, because they had fallen in battle for their sake. And there was a great mighty enmity between them all the days. And all that were found in Midian were on the way in the land of Moab, perished by the sword of Moab, and they were found of Moab on the way in the land of Midian, perished by the sword of Midian. And Midian did so Moab, and Moab to Midian for many days. And it came to be at that time that Judah the son of Jacob died in Egypt in the 86th year of Jacob's going down to Egypt, and Judah was 129 years old at his death, and they embalmed him and put him into a coffin, and was given into the hands of his children. And in the 89th year, Naphtali died, and he was 132 years old, and he was put in a coffin and was given into the hands of his children. And it came to be in the 91st year of the Israelites going down to Egypt, and that in the 30th year of the reign of Sepho, the son of Eliphaz, the son of Esaw, over the children of the Hittites, over the children of Africa, came upon the children of the Hittites to plunder them as usual. But they had not come upon them these 13 years. And they came to them in that year, and Sepho, the son of Eliphaz, went out to them, and some of his men, and smote them grievously. And all the companies of Africa fled from before Sepho, and the slain fell before him. And Sepho and his men pursued them, and going on smiting them until they were near Africa. And Agnes, the sovereign of Africa, heard the matter that Sepho had done, and it troubled him exceedingly. And Agnias was afraid of Sepho all the days. All right, so that is it for this reading. I'm sure you all enjoyed this reading, so yeah, let me know if you have any questions. and hope you all have a wonderful day.